Alright, match number 2 with Stompy. Get to be on the play, which is nice. We have a 1-lander, which is not normally a problem, but we only have 1 aggressive creature. This is more of a late game card to get through a board stall, not something that you use to beat down with. Double Rancor is pretty great. You can go turn 1 Nettle Sentinel, turn 2 Rancor, not untap, turn 3 second Rancor, untap and an attack for 6. Have other backup cards. If we draw 1-drop creatures, it's nice. If we draw another forest, that's fine too, because that means we can play this and kick this. If our Nettle Sentinel just dies turn 1, then our hand does a lot of nothing until we draw more creatures, but we have a lot of creatures in the deck. I think I can keep this. It's a little bit risky. I suppose this mutagenic helps us not get destroyed turn 1. This protects from Lightning Bolt, Disfigure, Rift Bolt, which has been exiled, so we're likely playing against Burn. So I can Rancor this. I can hold up in Vines, so that way I can Vines away the Rift Bolt or any Burn targeting the Nettle Sentinel. If I Rancor this, mutagenic to protect from Rift Bolt, they're just going to point another removal spell at it. And I really don't want them to do that. So I think I have to wait on the Rancor. If they just target everything at my face and ignore the Nettle Sentinel, then that's kind of bad for me, but I don't think it's as bad as them getting rid of the Nettle Sentinel. Alright, that's what we wanted you to do. I'm going to Vines it to untap it. And now if they bolt in response, I can mutagenic. I do need to be careful with my life total here and playing mutagenic for life, since I'm playing against Burn. Thermal Alchemist, new card, pretty cool. I don't think they'll be silly enough to block here, unfortunately. But I do want to give them the chance. Nope, no such luck. Alright, do I need to start using these pump spells? Probably. Let's go with Groundswell. This also one-taps my Nettle Sentinel, so if I don't want to play a Rancor next turn, I don't have to. That could have also been a good Rancor turn. That actually probably was the correct play. But I wanted to see if my opponent would just block. Alright, they exiled the Rift Bolt. What to do here? I think here they've proven that they know that their Thermal Alchemist is too valuable to be blocking with. And they know that our deck has a lot of pump spells in it, so I'm just going to play the Rancor now. And I'm probably going to get hit with Rift Bolt on this, most likely. And then the question is going to arise of whether or not I'm going to try to save it. It's a lot safer to not play this. And the reason for that is that Silhana is a much better target for my Rancors. Because I can't really get blown out as much. I can play both the Rancors on her, assuming I draw a forest, so I can play her next turn. And then I can go all in with pump spells and try to erase. But if I don't draw a forest next turn, that plan's not going to work, so I think I have to make them commit another spell here. Alright. Thermal Alchemist getting tapped. I think that means they are going to Searing Blaze? Incinerate me. Alright, well, there's nothing I can do now. Taking a bunch of damage from the Thermal Alchemist. And hope I draw a forest so I can play Silhana. What else are they doing to me? Chain Lightning my face? Wow, these Thermal Alchemists are really good, aren't they? I might need to play this Thermal Alchemist Burn. Alright, so let's say I play... it doesn't matter what I play. Shine It doesn't do anything because they can just tap this down before blocks, so I'm going to play the thing that has Hexproof. And then next turn if I draw a forest, I can go Rancor, Rancor, Groundswell, and that's only 9 damage. So I need them to have nothing in hand and draw nothing in order to win this race. Alright. Rancor. Korean Ranger. Rancor. Going to 4. Alright, and I need them to have 2 lands in hand, basically, because anything else will kill me. I guess a Curse of the Pierced Heart also won't kill me, but some burn decks don't even play that main deck. Alright, there's a mountain. Is the last card good enough? Oh wow, we got really lucky there. We had a hard time with our mana, drawing our second land not until like turn 4 or something, but they also got unlucky, apparently having 7 lands in their first 6 turns, which is obviously not where you want to be with burn. Alright, we'll take it. So against burn, Scattershot does nothing. Epic Confrontation could be good for taking down the Alchemists, which we saw are pretty great. Elephant Guide can also be good, since we know the only way they're getting rid of our creatures is by killing them. I don't think they run any exile removal, red burn that exiles. Tangle, not interested in that. And Gleeful Sabotage could be used to take out a Curse of the Pierced Heart, but I think we can generally erase Curse of the Pierced Heart. So what is bad against burn? This Shinin, as we saw, is not great. Nest Invader isn't great against their 0-3. They could be scared to block it because of combat tricks, but in general it doesn't do that much. Vault Scourge and Mutagenic cost us life, which we don't particularly like. The trade-off of having to pay 2 life for this up front isn't really worth the lifelink in my opinion, because as soon as we power this up, they can just bolt it down, and then we've spent 2 life and 2 spells. 2 cards, not necessarily a spell, Vault Scourge and a spell, to try to gain life, and they can just use a single removal spell to stop us from gaining any. So Vault Scourge are going to come out. Let's bring in these 4 cards. Do I want to bring it out one more thing for the second Elephant Guide? Maybe a Mutagenic? Yeah, Mutagenic's kind of bad, so let's bring in the Elephant Guide and see how that does. And we will submit. Alright, we have a 1 creature hand. This is not going to work. If we had a couple more pump spells, maybe 1 or 2 more pump spells in place of Forest, then we might be able to go for it and just plan on drawing creatures, but this is extremely creature light against a deck that has tons of creature removal. And I just don't think it's going to work, so I'm going to mulligan. Well, here we have the opposite problem. And no lands again. I guess we have to keep this. I don't think we can win now, but we'll still try. Second Vines, nope. All we want now is aggressive 1 and 2 drop creatures. Elephant Guide, okay, that's kind of good. Assuming they leave this Korean Ranger alone, this is something that could generate a little chunk of value. Keldon Marauders, okay. Rancor. Now the question is, do we want to trade this off? Probably not. I think we have to trade damage here. This Korean Ranger is too important to put this Elephant Guide on. I need to count on drawing a Forest next turn and then not leaving up burn to kill this. Actually, I don't need to draw the Forest because of Korean Ranger's ability. I can simply return one of my forests and replay it. But I need them to tap out so they can't burn me in response. Curse of the Pierced Heart, okay. Lava Spike my face. Excellent. Looks like they're going to let me, unless they have Gut Shot, which I think most lists do not. We're already down to 12. Alright. I think Elephant Guide is more important than Korean Ranger, or than playing Young Wolf here. Fire Blast. Okay. Well, most lists do not run Gut Shot, but most do run 1 or 2 Fire Blast, or maybe even more, I'm not sure. I know Goblins only runs a single Fire Blast. I'm not sure how many burn runs typically. And unfortunately, we got kind of blown out there. Even though that did cost them 2 of their mountains, they don't really need mountains. Most of their spells are 1 and 2 mana, and they already have this curse down to put a clock on us, so that was pretty good for them. I should have played Korean Ranger first. That was silly of me. Because now if they go to bolt something here before I have my Vines of Vastwood up, I could be in trouble. Or I could have saved it before. Alright. I would like them to get rid of the Young Wolf, if anything, since it comes back. So that's what I'm going to target with the Rancor. I'm going to return a forest to untap this, to always have this vine up. And they don't go for removal. Chain lightning targeting our face. Okay, it looks like they're just going to burn us out. And this vines isn't going to be able to prevent anything. Nest Invader. Alright, let's go for attacks first. Bash for 6. I am going to give them the opportunity to kill my Young Wolf. I think I have to. Because I don't have them dead on board right now. Which means I would have to tap out for Vines of Vastwood first anyway. So I'm going to Nest Invader and then use the Korean Ranger so I can get my Vines of Vastwood available again. Now we have lethal on board unless they kill us, and we're at effective 4. They're going to 3 cards in hand after they cycle this away. A single Lava Spike or Lightning Bolt won't do it. They need 4 damage worth, so Mountain into 2 spells or Fire Blaster. Alright, there's the Mountain. There's spell number 1. They probably have it, but maybe they don't. Nope, second Fire Blast. Okay, well, we're dead. It was a close game, though, despite us mulliganing to 2 cards less than them. Okay, well, game 3 it is. Alright, on the play. And this is a great hand. We have a 1-drop into Skargan, which is always a good thing to see. Every time I see Skargan, I wonder why we don't play the full 4 in the deck, but it's only really good on turn 2 or sometimes turn 3, and it requires you to already kind of be winning by having made your 1-drop and being able to connect with it. So I see the reasoning, and Stompy has been around for so long and so many people play the 3 that that's probably the optimal number. But I just really like this card when it's working. Because who wouldn't? It's a 1-mana 2/2 with an ability. Alright, get to attack. This is an awkward turn to play Skargan, so I might actually wait. It's also awkward turn to play Riverbow. We'd rather do it when we have Regeneration up. It is a nice turn to play Silhana, though, even though we don't have Rancor. I think I'm going to go with the better mana play. I don't want to use this Vines. If I just play the Skargan and pass, they're probably not going to kill either of them. And then I'm not going to use the mana for Vines of Vastwood, and it's going to be pointless for me to have played a 1-drop instead of a 2-drop. And I'm most likely going to be able to enable Bloodthirst next turn too, so playing it a turn late isn't that bad. If I draw a forest and I can play 2 things, that's great. Lava Spike my face, and pass, okay. Korean Ranger. Alright, that's a decent draw. 0 mana 1/1. Get to play my Skargan and leave up Vines of Vastwood. Alright, time to attack for a bunch. I think we're going to win this damage race. Even if they have a like Trickery, which we didn't see them bring in last game, but they probably did sideboard in. We get a 2/2 out of it. And we can save this with a Mutagenic. Alright. Do I want to leave up Vines and play Nettle Sentinel? I think I want to play Riverboa. So let's go untap this, return this. I think I could have actually done this trick with the mana last game and never had to be without a mana available for Vines. I tapped 2 and then I returned 1 instead of tapping 1 and returning the 1 I tapped. It's an important trick to know with Korean Ranger. Incinerate my face, okay. Pretty sure I can kill them next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 6 is 13, yep. Chain lightning in my face. You're going to need 2 fire blasts to kill me from here, most likely. I guess a single one would also do it. 7. They could theoretically have it. Alright, so if I go for the win, I would have to tap out. Well, I guess not, because Corian Ranger allows me to leave up one of my vines. Yeah, I think I should go for it. So let's go tap, turn a forest, untap, boop. Additionally, I can do this on Silhana, so that if they have 2 removal spells, then they can't get through my vines. If they have a removal spell, they're going to have to use it on something that's not Silhana. 6, 7, plus 4 is 11, so now I go mutagenic, pay life. I'll put it on the regenerator, I guess. Although I'm most likely not going to regenerate. I guess I should have put it on Silhana. This tempts them to target this, and then I can Vines of Vastwood. But that gets blown up by 2 removal spells just the same. Yeah, I think that was a misplay. I was trying to spread out value, but when this has hexproof, there's no reason to spread out value. Lightning Bolt. Okay. I can regenerate it, or I can Vines it. If I regenerate it, it's going to be removed from combat. If I Vines it, they have to do another thing. So I think I'm going to Vines it. This is basically exactly what would be happening anyway if the mutagenic was here. Except I would get 2 more damage in. Because at the end, whenever they bolt this again, I'm not going to actually end up with this mutagenic resolving, whereas if I'd put it on Silhana, it would. Fire Blast, targeting my River Boa, okay. At least that's not hitting my face. Okay. And they're dead on board. Unless they remove 2 things. Okay, we win the match. Excellent. Well, it looks like our opponent did get pretty flooded, but our draws were a little bit rough this match too. And in any case, we took it down, and we are on to match 3.